Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. Last episode we made it all the way to the Asterkarn road, which is getting rather close to Fort Icon. We found a very nice amulet named Death Ward, and in between episodes I did the shuffling around necessary to equip it. I've put a ward stone in it to increase our elemental and bleeding resistances. And the Death Ward itself gives us a very nice chunk of cold and vitality resistance, as well as some life, physique and vitality damage. And of course the reason you put on your Death Ward is the Defy Death activated ability. Whenever our health drops below 25%, we are instantly healed for 30% plus 100, plus actually 1,000 points of health. So we recover quite a bit, and on top of that we become immune to vitality damage and life reduction effects for 5 seconds. At least that's how I'm reading 100% resistance increase in that way. And that's it. Let's go defy death, because we are still playing on hardcore. In Grim Dawn, that's never ever gonna change. You either play on hardcore or you die. But there is no continuing onwards on standard or softcore, or however you want to call it. Once you're dead, you're dead. So something like a Defy Death has the potential to help us. If we get knocked out from, say, half our life to no life, then Defy Death is not going to help us. But if we get chipped down from, by say, a group of ravenous devourers or something, and they're just biting away like 5% of our health at a time, when we drop below 25% in a situation like that, the effect is gonna kick in. So no, the triggers, they are not foolproof.
Can't do that yet.
But they do help. You still have to be rather cautious when it comes to boss fights. So I made a beginner's mistake of going down here rather than up. But we did find a bit of lore. Evelyn's note. We've been on a run for what feels like weeks now. The ethereals are always on our heels, spreading like wildfire across the countryside. The children are starving. The few bites of food we manage to scavenge on the go aren't enough for all 4 of us. I'm not sure how much more we can take. Word on the road is that the cult of Cadence is accepting members, that they have food and shelter for all. I've always pictured them as heretical lunatics, howling at the moon as they bathe in blood. But the promise of safety may be too much to pass on. Talon cringes at the thought of being seen among the bloodsworn, but we agree that it might be necessary evil in order to survive. Our children deserve to eat. I'd forgotten that Evelyn's note also drops here. I was half expecting this to be
I can't do that yet.
the diaries of another family that was out here in the snow on its way to safety, fleeing from the danger in the north, only to find that the need to eat is stronger than any sense of decency or humanity. But I think we will encounter those notes a bit later on. So, the war between ethereals and the cultists is raging pretty actively up here. Grim Dawn being one of the few games, maybe one of the only games that comes to immediate mind, where you have multiple distinct enemy factions at war with each other. And most of the time they have been sort of proxy wars via other factions like the beasts, things like that. And here they're just in outright open conflict. Things are intensifying, but well, they kind of have to, because we are approaching the later stages of the game. At some point we are gonna transition from Act 3 into Act 4 of the game. We might even already have. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure where the exact lines are between acts. In the end of Act 1 is when you defeat Warden Creek. That seems like a rather obvious boss marker. But for Act 2, where would the line be there? Maybe? I don't think. I think Act 2 actually extends beyond Cronley. Oh, there's a caster in here. Alara Starfire and Aspiria Supporter. So far, going after Starfire seems to be a better option here. Because we've already got her halfway down.
Can't do that yet.
We are out regenerating them, or at least their damage output.
I can't do that yet.
Why did you? Is this one of those mobs that? No, this supporter is only now starting to be a nuisance by healing. So let's change targets and murder Aspiria. Okay, solve that little problem. Now back to where we came from. Murder the heck out of this one. We have a very decent
I can't do that yet.
damage output. It's only getting better. We just leveled, so that's also something that we need to pay a little bit of attention to. So we have +1 point in here. I believe I wanted to put some points in these as well. Just to boost our aggression a little bit. And put another point into Warcry. And between or after the episode I'll have a double check what my exact plans were in terms of leveling. Because I think I wanted to get both of these to 6. And then later on, once we get a +3 to all skills, we'll boost them to their 25% chance to be used at level 9. That's what sticks out in the back of my mind. And similarly, Fighting Spirit. It starts off the first couple levels, you get +4% chance to activate. Then you get a couple levels of +3, and then it drops down to +2. And it just becomes less efficient the more points you put in terms of activation chance. But for now, I think we are good. Didn't gain any blue items. Couple greens in there. We'll have a look at them later on. And there was a staircase in the corner. Oh, we did clear the upsides here. And there's a staircase here. That also works for me. Some gunmen. Some hogs. For now we'll just see if those gunmen will kill themselves. We are doing a lot of damage reflection. So we'll see how strong that is now. We're fighting this entire melee fight. We haven't touched the gunners still. And this one did take 2/3 of its own life away. Simply by shooting at us and getting part of the damage reflected at it. So to me that does show that putting more points into damage reflection definitely useful. Because it will make it even easier to deal with ranged attackers. I believe we've done a decent job clearing this. There's not a secret exit or something. Ah, there is. Or there's some loot drops there. Or wait, this is just simply something that just fell through the level again. Clipping errors.
I can't do that yet.
They are rather annoying. don't remember seeing the items when we were up there. But now, of course, it's late. I'm not gonna walk back there. Let's see. There is a witch doctor. That, of course, needs to die. I believe we killed. Oh, there's another one. Kill all the witch doctors. And everything else is eventually gonna kill itself, but those witch doctors, they heal their bodies. We can't have that.
Not ready.
Just walking back here, looking for the first journal. While it's one of my favorite bits of lore, the diary series that's strewn about here, I never can remember exactly where they are, except that they are in some of the encampments around here. We're gonna look for them.
I can't do that yet.
Domains, double. Oh, those are some colors. Okay, and that's a proper witch doctor.
That skill's not ready.
The war cry is starting to get interesting and useful enough that I'm trying to use it more often than I can. That's why there's rather frequent complaints of that I'm not ready yet. There's a 7.5 second cooldown on it. And as a soldier, you're going to be using a shield in your offhand rather than a caster item. And as such, it's a bit more difficult to get your hands on some cooldown reduction. Casters with a book, for example, it's relatively easy to get your hands on about, let's say, 20% skilled cooldown reduction.
Can't do that yet.
And there we are, the trip south. But that book is one of the most efficient forms of cooldown reduction as well. It's a stat that's difficult to stack, presumably because otherwise it would ruin the balance of a lot of skills. So it does make sense. Also means that if you're not a spellcaster, it's gonna be harder to get access to that stat.
I can't do that yet.
And as such, people just have to be slightly patient when using our war cry. Spell scorching. Hello, bone chill. I want a book. Then we'll have a chat with the bone chill.
I can't do that yet.
For a change of pace, let's actually have a little drink of energy. We are whittling away at the bone chill. Bone chill is doing a decent job chilling and freezing us. But of course we are very well tanked. We have a bunch of retaliation damage, so it doesn't really matter. We don't need to be attacking all the time in order to kill things. And now, lore, part 1 of the trip south. The notebook is caked in dried blood and mud, and many pages appear to have been deliberately torn out. Day 3. John holds Sylvie with one arm as he drives the wagon. He's smiling and happy as he tells us that we should reach the mountain in a few days. It's sad to leave our home, but I'm hopeful for a better life far away from the dangers that seem to be ever increasing here in the north. Sylvie is so happy, running along the side of the wagon, picking flowers. I was really worried about her, being unhappy as we left behind the only home she's ever known. The wonder and splendor that is youth. It warms my heart. Day 6. The mountains are looming ahead of us, and the cold is getting sharp. I can see the worry in John's face as he tries to keep up his spirits. I know he only wants to protect us from the dangers, and I can only pray that we make it past the mountain before the snow. Day 8. We're in the shadows of the mountain now, and the days are shorter. Snow has started to fall, and the cold came on so suddenly it surprised us. We have warm clothes, but the wind cuts right through them. Day 11. We have reached a flat at the base of a fort. There are a few other travelers here who have told us the way through to Darkvale is blocked. With our food running low, we were hoping to resupply at the Darkvale Gate Merchant District. Now I don't know what we will do. Turning back is not an option with the snow coming down so fast. John says he is going to talk to the others soon. Day 16. The horse died today. John is saddened by this, but at least it will feed us until help arrives. I hate that we had to make this trip with Sylvie. She's only 9 and I don't like the way the other men at the camp look at her. Day 22. All of our horse meat is gone. Would have lasted longer if we didn't have to share it with the others. But John said things could have gone badly if we did not. I don't like thinking about what he meant by that. The trip south. It's not a happy story. It's a very grim dawn story.
That skill's not ready.
It's a complete opposite of the notes of Evelyn, who in dark times she sees hope in a place where she'd never expected to see hope. The trip south though, it only goes from bad to worse. It never really goes well, never goes happy. And we are facing Childred, a heroic reanimator. So a bunch of cold ones around us, definitely not overly useful for us. This being a resurrection caster doesn't really mean it's gonna be attacking us all that much, so our damage retaliation and reflection don't really do a lot. So this one we do have to just simply grind out. But the fact that we are chilled all the time doesn't help. Cold resistance, or at least the chill and freeze resistances, are rather useful in situations like this. Though having some cold hearts in your rings does shield you from being chilled all the time. Trade-off of course is that you can't put other things in your rings. And I personally really like putting bone dust in my rings. Or corpse dust, more to be more specific. 3% extra health increases your health regeneration by 18% and it gives you 6% vitality resistance. So if you put that in both of your rings, it boosts your survivability quite a bit, like in general, rather than only helping you deal with cold things. And as I've said before, this is a rather passive tank. It's not an active tank, so we don't need to be attacking all the time in order to stay alive. So we can get away with it. And I see more food on the minimap, which means another note. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a bunch of archers or gunners in the back here. There's enough things trying to hurt us that we are slowly taking damage. I had to use Overguard here. The keyword here, of course, being slowly.
That skill's not ready.
But it's almost 8,400 health. It does take monsters a while to take us out. We really have a lot of staying power.
I can't do that yet.
I think I've had level 60 characters that had less than half of this life. But that's one of the nice things of going for a soldier, and a really, really tanky soldier at that.
I can't do that yet.
Okay, smash some barrels. Box. And another troll that's really out of his league. Another note. Let's read. Day 28. Gods protect us. We've been starving. I spent the morning searching the woods for nuts and bugs to eat. I can't believe that it doesn't shame me to say that I've been eating bugs when I can find them. When I go back to the camp, I found that John had killed a man that attacked our daughter. Day 29. John has brought Sylvie and me a small portion of meat. I don't ask where he got it. Day 30. The other men asked what happened to their friend. John told them that he tried to hurt our little girl and offered them some freshly cut meat. They took it without another word and left us alone. Does friendship mean so little in these times? Day 36. John offered Sylvie to one of the men in the camp. When the man came into the tent to make his advance, John killed him in front of Sylvie and me. I'm so hungry, I don't even care. Another day. It's so hard to write. Numb fingers and the cold dulls my thoughts. The dark of the mountain makes it easy to lose track of the days. Another man has been lured to our tent in exchange of food for the promise of warmth. They must know that it's a trap. Maybe they are ready to die. They lie to themselves even as they walk into the butcher's blade. Our next visitor was wise to the attack. John killed him, but not without suffering a terrible wound. He's not sure he will survive the night. I find that I don't care as much as I should. All I see is a potential meal. Gods, what is happening to me? John lasted longer than we've expected, draining our dwindling food supplies. I took care of it. Now we have food for a long while. Things are getting dire.
I can't do that yet.
I think being stranded out in a post-apocalyptic situation is, pretty darn bad. But then, if you're stuck in the snow on top of that, that must be even worse. Because you have to stay warm. You're just using, probably just burning more of your energy reserves in order to just stay warm. On top of that, it's not like there's a lot of food that you can find in the snowy area. So I wonder if resorting to cannibalism, if that's a realistic thing.
I can't do that yet.
Or if it's something that's really bad idea. I hope I will never ever have to be in a situation to make choices like that, because things are really dire if that ever happens. On the other hand, with all these monsters here, these chillmanes and things like that, couldn't those people have just banded together and gone after the monsters? Or in reverse, be as the hero, just killing all of these monsters.
Not ready.
Why haven't the monsters gone after the people instead? Because those notes, they don't really emphasize that there's a lot of monsters out there. No, they only speak of the human factor. And that's a very scary human versus human kind of desperate situation. But not a word about the monsters, because I think if you manage to kill one of these chillmanes, you could probably eat for a week.
I can't do that yet.
Especially with all the men they've butchered, basically. I think they could have set up a decent hunting party and just gone after the wildlife. Way better idea. But, they gotta put the story in there somewhere, right? And going through an area that is devoid of monsters. Not the best of ideas. Let's read the final note while our energy regenerates. Sylvie has become angry, spiteful, malevolent. Where did all the tenderness and innocence of my little girl go? Why is it that I don't care anymore? I should care, but feel nothing. There's no one left here in the camp. All gone, we must move. Hard to hide blood. Frozen snow. Easy for prey to know. Harder to write, hard to think about anything but the hunger. New place off-road. Easy to learn new travelers going south. Looking for safe place, never find it. No food again. I encourage Sylvie to find people to bring here for food. She's gleeful at suggestion. John gone, so I do the killing now. So hungry. Don't even bother to cook food anymore. Talk to a woman today. Still alive as we eat. Blood in mouth. She asks why. Only word I say. Hungry. Sylvie laughed as she talk while we eat. Hair falling out. Don't care. The men won't be lured no more. They know what awaits them. No matter, we chase. Sylvie good hunter now. She likes kill. Me too. Should feel bad. Know it's wrong, but it feels so good to feed. Don't feel cold no more. Shards of frozen blood, cut lips, split gums. Don't care. Chase men. Terror makes flesh taste sweeter. Good. So hungry. Must find more. The rest of the text is impossible to make out. So this is the site of the final journal entry. That's just some of the monsters. I always keep wondering, why don't you see Sylvie or her mom here? Or would they have their own cave somewhere nearby, or no, their own spawning spot? I always keep wondering, and I've never been able to find them. I keep my hope up for that. But yeah, so we found a number of green items. Let's have a quick look, see if there's anything interesting in here. So these are very decent health regeneration. 12.2% health regen. That's quite a bit. 26% health regeneration. On top of that, 23% elemental resistance is a massive amount, and 5% health. The only downside is that the armor is 160 lower than our old one. But for the rest, it is a really nice shoulder guard. I'm actually tempted by this. Let's put this away and we'll just see just how much of an impact it will make. Because if we just only look at the regeneration, we go up to 214. Which is quite a bit, because we can of course amplify that with Overguard to 360, while our other one is 330. Okay, so in the bigger picture it's only 30 under Overguard. Okay, let's see, another one. Ooh, this is a very strong caster one. +1 to Escambras, some life lead retaliation and a bunch of damage bonuses. Belt. There's damage reflection on here, but it's less than what we already have on our Devil's Court. So we can safely skip this. Some health and energy and defensive ability and health regen, but not overly strong. That said, we got 7% physique on the other one. In terms of life, we don't actually lose a lot of life. So we have a contender over here. Another ring, health regen bonus, some energy regen. Armor over here. +1 to counter strike, some pierce resistance. Lightning sphere on attack. But the damage bonuses don't quite match up to what we deal, so it is rather wasted. let's see. Extra damage to tonics, physical resist, 8% health is pretty decent. But all in all, we will lose more than we gain here. So, as always, no, one or two items that have some potential, but most of it is just gonna be trash for the vendor. So we can gain some more money to spend into crafting. And for now, that's gonna be it. We advanced a waypoint, we finished up some stories. Next up, we will continue our advance towards Fort Icon. I'm gonna thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.